Let us gather this morning with wisdom inspired by Reverend David Miller. This morning, in Unitarian Universalist congregations all over the world, people are gathering in an effort to live into, as best as we can, what we profess about placing love at the center of everything we do. This morning in Unitarian Universalist congregations all over the world, people are gathering and are naming this magnificent challenge that the times we are living in are baiting us not to love. The social and political atmosphere in which we travel tempts us to find fault, to place blame, to point fingers. Sometimes it seems that the world seeks to increase that which can tear us apart. And yet, this morning, in Unitarian Universalist congregations all over the world, people are gathering, asking the question, what is the most loving thing I can do right now? So as we gather this morning, may the light of our flaming chalice breathe life and love into every one of our congregations and into all those who seek to center love despite all odds, who by saying yes to this faith have this great and wonderful opportunity to live into love in these days.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Northern Nevada on this lovely, sun-bright morning. My name is Chris Pecars, and my pronouns are he, his, him, and I'm happy to serve today as your worship associate. We acknowledge that Washoe County is located on the ancestral homelands of the Washoe, Paiute, and Shoshone peoples, the original caretakers of the land that we are meeting on today. Washoe County continues to be a gathering place and home for Indigenous peoples, and we honor their past, present, and future by remembering that the health of the land and its people are inexorably linked. Our topic this month is nurturing gratitude, and I am grateful for this beautiful space, made home by the presence of all of you, both here in person and those attending virtually. We are a place of acceptance, embracing all, the old, the young, gay, lesbian, straight, trans, cis, non-binary, rich, poor, immigrant, migrant, refugee, Republican, Democrat, independent, Christian, Jew, Muslim, Hindu, humanist, pagan. The list goes on and on. We embrace the vast sea of all humanity, no dogma or creed required. This is a house centered on love and on our shared covenant, expressed through the inseparable values of interdependence, pluralism, justice, transformation, generosity, and equity. If you're new here or newish, it is our sincere hope that you feel the warmth of our hearth during your visit, and that in time you'll settle in with us and join our community. We're ready to receive you, arms and hearts wide open. If you'd like to learn more about Unitarian Universalism, please see myself, one of our greeters, or stop by the welcoming desk in the gathering hall just outside the rear entrance. If you are here in person today and would like to lift up a joy or share a concern, you'll find a form in one of the seat backs near you or at the back of the room. Please fill out your joy or concern and bring it up to me during our time of greeting. If you're on Zoom, lift up your joys or concerns in the chat box. And now, rise as you are willing and able, and take a moment to greet one another in whatever manner you find comfortable. I will ring the singing bowl when it's time for us to gather once again.
My kiddo came home from kindergarten last week with a family project that she was to complete and bring back to school. I didn't know that they had homework in kindergarten. So the homework, it was a piece of construction paper, blank construction paper, except it had the outline of a feather traced on it, just a super simple outline. And the assignment that was requested of each child was that they decorate their feather with Thanksgiving themes and bring it back to school to then become part of a collective craft turkey. I know, very cute. And the school suggested that the families discuss with their kindergartners themes of gratitude and how they celebrate the holiday and what you like to eat for Thanksgiving dinner. And as a good Unitarian Universalist parent, I knew that as soon as we entered her into school, I would have opinions about what she was being taught and how we would work to give nuance to her learning. I knew that there would be many ways that she would learn things passively just by watching and witnessing people around her. And that there would also be things that she would be directly taught. And that for each of these learnings, I would want to support her in nuancing her learnings, in hearing diverse perspectives, and in stretching her critical thinking. And so when she brought her feather home, we read stories from Indigenous authors. We explored perspectives of historic events. And we tried to speak truthfully about why some people call this a day of mourning and others call it Thanksgiving. And she asked a bunch of questions and we reflected on all of it together. This is a very Unitarian Universalist approach. We educate ourselves, we face facts and hard truths, and we make meaning together and encourage each other to see other perspectives. And then we figure out how we will show up in the world with love. When she finally began decorating her feather, I got to view what she had taken in and how she had made sense of the learning. Her feather contained a mix of many symbols. She used hot glue to attach dried corn kernels and pumpkin seeds and dried beans to represent the three sisters, corn, squash, and beans, and what she had learned about mutually beneficial Indigenous planting wisdom. She cut out blue pieces of paper and ripped up tissues and glued them on in the middle of her feather, tears and tissues, because as she said, that's what you do when you're sad. And the stories of our history are very painful. And finally, at the bottom of her feather, she drew pictures of the things for which she was grateful. When she described her feather to her class, they were all supposed to bring in their feathers and describe them to the entire class. Her teacher asked if the tissues represented clouds and rain. And my kiddo clarified that they were tears. And she dutifully described the people that got killed. And her teacher, to her credit, affirmed this part of the story and said she'd been discussing it with her own kids, who are many years older. And they had been talking about how you discuss that kind of history, especially with young people. My husband and I have been discussing how to best practice sharing truth in honest ways right from the beginning. It would have been easier to send her to school just with a gratitude feather, with pictures of mashed potatoes and stuffing. But Unitarian Universalist values ask us to face the reality of the world with a heart of love. And as I think about Thanksgiving, this day of mourning, centering love requires honesty and vulnerability and accountability to one another. And we've been asking each other as a congregation what we can do given all that is happening in the world around us. What can we do? And I'm hoping that today can be an invitation for us to practice love as part of the answer of what we can do. Carol is going to show with you in a moment, she's going to share with you the importance of the donations that we've brought today. And I can imagine that for many of us, it feels like our small gestures can't touch the enormity of the harm in the world. But what I hope we take from this morning is the impact of our practices of love. Each small commitment towards love instead of ease, towards love instead of complacency, towards love in the face of fear, especially if we can increase these practices so that they're part of our daily living. Each of these small commitments towards love are the things that create change. It might mean daily speaking more truth, or being even more generous, or doing more things that feel uncomfortable. The invitation today is to practice letting our hearts guide as much as possible each day. So we're going to rise together and sing a hymn, number 322, Thanks Be for These. And as we sing together, I invite you also to connect with your heart and to imagine what subtle shifts need to happen for you to center love daily. So please rise and we'll sing together number 322. Thank
Good morning, everyone. My name is Carol Chenard, and my pronouns are she, her. I want to talk to you about the food bank and our relationship to it. Before I begin, though, I would like to ask everyone who has ever volunteered at least once at the food bank to please stand up so we can acknowledge you. Yay! Yeah. Thank you so much. Our work with the Food Bank of Northern Nevada began as a regular practice in 2011 as remember the old chalice circles? And one part of the chalice circle where you got together in individual groups was to have a cocoon project, giving back to the community project. And the chalice circle that I was in, there was one person who had volunteered at the food bank warehouse once or twice. So that was our project. So we went out to the warehouse. It's about 25 miles east of Sparks, a beautiful drive at any time of the year. And we sorted food or did something at the food bank. But the point was, we had fun. And we realized this was fun to do. It was a nice drive, carpooled, helped things at the food bank, whatever. So we started doing that as a regular basis in 2011. Once a month, the third or fourth Saturday, we would go out and do whatever they had for us to do. Sometimes it was sorting donations. Sometimes it was filling the boxes for seniors who needed food, supplemental food. The Food Bank of Northern Nevada feeds about 100,000 people every month. That is all of Northern Nevada and a couple of counties in California that it's easier for Food Bank of Northern Nevada trucks to get to than it is for California Food Bank trucks to get to because of the mountains and everything. So at any rate, those people need help. And also the food bank sends trucks out to food pantries, halfway houses, places all over Northern Nevada. They feed a lot of people. And it is kind of sobering to think of all of the people that consistently need help with food. So what we've done in the past, I mean, as I said, we've sort of donated food. We've had some rather interesting times back before funding was cut or whatever. They would have these big containers of fresh produce that we would repackage so that they could go out to be given to neighborhood food pantries through the mobile harvest, or people through the mobile harvest. But I don't know if anybody here who was a food bank volunteer remembers the sweet potatoes, the squishy sweet potatoes. You have this huge bin of sweet potatoes, and we're trying to, put them into net bags. And every once in a while, you reach in there and just grab this really gross, squishy one. The people remember that, or the frozen corn cobs that somebody had bought for the food bank. And these were rock solid corn cobs. And they had told us to, dress warm because you're going to be in the room with the frozen corn. And that was never done again. That seemed to be a particularly bad idea. At any rate, you meet people from other groups, from other, whatever. It's fun. And if you have the time, you have the inclination, please, check it out on, or email me at foodbankvolunteers.org. It's usually in the announcements as well, and I'll get you more information. But we'd love to have your help. And you don't have to commit to coming absolutely every time during the year. This is good. There's no demerits or anything. If you miss, that's none. But now at the food bank, at the warehouse, one of the great things when we're working there is that they have these big pallets that are covered with plastic and everything. And now we can hold on to that. We gather that during our work shift, and then we bring it here so it can be made into a bench. So it's really cool. And we thought about how many years we were just throwing that stuff away. Anyway, we can save it now and have it recycled into a bench. Now, in February of this year, I started volunteering at our center, which is the only LGBTQA+ community center in Northern Nevada. And if you have a moment, let that sink in. Just let that sink in. And one of the things they wanted to do was open a little food pantry for people who come in for programs who, need resources. And also in Midtown, this is about at the intersection of Wells and Plum, there are a lot of people who roam the streets, and they are hungry many times. No matter what time of year it is, people get hungry. So they had a rather large closet, made it into a food pantry. And one of the things that this congregation did, and I worked with Nathan on this, was to pivot our food donations here because they had been kind of haphazard over the years. Everything now that is donated, that you all donate to our center, or food-wise, I'm sorry, goes to our center. I take it over, I put it in the back of my car on Sundays, and I take it over every Monday and restock the little food pantry. It's so important that we donate food that they can use, because so many of these people who come into the food pantry are living on the streets. They have no kitchens. They have no access to kitchens. They can't boil up a pot of pasta. They can't, we need food that is pre-cooked that people can grab, and just try to imagine yourself on the street and you're hungry. We can use, the canned food should all have pop tops because people don't necessarily have can openers with them. And the foodstuffs that have pop tops can be eaten at room temperature. That's not ideal, but nevertheless they can. But it's like, think, and we need that, we meaning our center. It's a continuing effort, because you can't imagine the shape that some people come into the center off the street, who just need some sort of refuge, and they're hungry. So at any rate, we do that. There are lists of the specific kinds of foods that are best, and that's out on it's taped on the barrel that's in the gathering room, but also you get it in the e-newsletter every week. So please take a look at that. Toiletries are always good. These people may be living on the street, but they want to be clean. They've said as much. The men want to be able to shave. They want deodorant. It's like, they are where they are for certain reasons that we don't pass judgment on. But our first principle is the inherent worth and dignity of every human being. And I think of that every time when someone comes in, or if it's someone, a young person who is out on the streets because their family doesn't accept who they are. It's like everyone is someone's child. What else can we do but help? And also at our center, they do get donations from the Food Bank of Northern Nevada. Those food donations have been very helpful, but it's taken a while for the food bank to understand what the Our Center food pantry needs specifically. So in the beginning, there was like tons of pasta and stuff like that. So we set up a reciprocal agreement with the Reno Posse, because they cook that pasta just about every week. And so it's been really, really nice that there are bags of diced carrots, frozen diced carrots, that the posse has been able to use to mix in. There were, bunches and bunches of pasta sauce that you had to open with a can opener and everything. And so they were able to take that and make it into spaghetti sauce with the mixed vegetables, canned foods and stuff that the food bank had given us. And that is cool with the food bank. It's cool with, with those of us here. And it goes right into the hands of hungry people who need it. That is one of the biggest things I think that we can do, because these efforts literally put the food into the hands of people who are hungry, and they can load up and they're back out on the streets. I did want to add a little addendum to this whole thing before I close, and that is, I don't know if anybody paid attention to the city council meeting last week where they ruminated about how they felt the homeless situation in downtown Reno was really getting out of hand. And wasn't, it's like we see so many homeless people in downtown Reno. And I just want to throw that out there because, the city council could have made other decisions. And at any rate, having said all of that, we really here at UUFNN and at our center really appreciate your donations of food and toiletries, and I can't emphasize enough, this goes directly to people who need it. Thank you.
Actually, Carol, I'll ask you to come back up. And Chris, would you come forward too? Can you all just say thank you again to Carol for the work? So in a moment, we're going to collect all of the items that you've brought. If you didn't bring something, that's okay. And we are going to ask you to imagine this collection of food and other items, both as a gesture of mutual aid. We've been talking about mutual aid as a congregation, and also as a symbol of the ways that we live our values. Especially like right now, in these days, facing the chaos of what we face every single day out in the world. This is mutual aid, and it is a way that we live out our values day to day. So we're going to do the collection a little bit differently, and it might be a little bit weird. The people I've told so far have had a little skeptical face, but we're going to try it. And if it's too clunky, we'll make it through, okay? Rather than bringing your donations forward and laying them on the table, I'm going to ask you to pass them up from the back of the room, from whatever row you're at. You're going to pass your items forward through the rows. Now, it doesn't have to be that every single person touches a can or a box or whatever it is, but we're going to pass them forward. And here's the invitation. As we pass them forward, one by one, or however many you end up touching, maybe it's a bag, maybe it's a single can, I want you to pay attention as it moves through the hands and weaves its way forward, and then Carol and Chris are going to help you to place it on the table. As each item passes through your hands, or as you watch the items move, either online or here in the sanctuary, I just want to let it linger just for a moment. You don't have to let every single one linger for minutes, but let it linger for just a second. And as you hold that item in your hands, I want you to consider, just for that moment, the human being that is going to receive that item. And as you hold it, I want it to let you open your heart just a little bit. We all have pretty open hearts, but I want you to hold that item and let it open your heart even just a little bit more. And then as each item passes through and we sit with the enormity of the issues that we face, but the ways that we give, I want it to expand your commitment to loving. Okay? We're going to let it expand our commitment to loving, to consider the ways that we might love more every single day, love a little bit more. And as you pass the items forward, we're going to do it with reverence. This is going to some human being that needs it. We're going to pass the food with reverence. And as we do so, we are going to center love. We're going to commit to centering love every single day, either through our truth-telling or our generosity or our courage. We're going to center more love. So I invite you to take a few moments of deep breathing. And let's begin passing food forward, items forward. I invite you to settle in together for a time of centering and contemplation and grief and gratitude giving, a time that some call prayer. And I invite you to find what Reverend Karen Johnson calls a posture of dignity. A posture where you know that you are in your whole body, not just your head, not just your heart. Perhaps you need to do some wiggling or take an intentional breath in and then out. You might even consider pressing your hands gently on the tops of your thighs, connecting with that sense of dignity that is always available to you, no matter what is happening in the world, no matter what painful thing might be out there, no matter what, deeper than anything else is your dignity. And your dignity is connected to the dignity of every other human being, to every other being. And in this still space, we evoke what Reverend Juniper Meadows calls the fundamental paradox of love. That love that evokes our grief at the passage of a loved one. The love that lets us anguish in the face of injustice. The love that lets us feel sorrow at the degradation of the planet. And it is that same love that wakes our hearts to wonder at the sight of a newborn child, that lets us appreciate a sunrise, that lets us feel gratitude for all that we have been given. Tonight, we will center love by hosting our trans community for the annual Trans Day of Remembrance gathering. Together, we will grieve and honor and acknowledge and recommit to lives of dignity and to our love. And we lift up several people in our community today. Rosie Elwing, who has had severe debilitating knee pain, and it is making it hard for her to do any daily tasks, including our choir. We miss her. And we hold Booney, our beloved Booney, one of our worship leaders, whose father died this last week. Booney is currently in Bangkok with family, and they are commemorating his father's death. And we celebrate with gratitude Diana Rogan, who's grateful and so appreciative for good medical news on this 5th year anniversary of being cancer-free. And we hold all of you, each and every single one of you in this space, all of you online today, There is not any one of us who is not experiencing some sort of thing, a joy or a sorrow. And we hold each and every one of you in this community. May we each of us, be held in love. Amen. And blessed be.
Here at UUFNN, we hold love at the center. But from this center, we extend our works out into the wider world. It's common to say at times when we ask for the offering that what we give is our time, talent, and treasure. And to Carol's lovely talk today, expressing all of the ways we use our time in the community, and examples of our treasure include food that we give to our hungry neighbors. There are multitudes of ways for you to give: check, cash, electronic, donations. All of our giving options are on the screen behind me or in your Zoom session. As part of our work in the world, we give a portion of our offerings to a community partner through our Share the Plate program, reflecting our mission to support good works beyond these walls and into the larger community. Our partner for November is Soulful Seeds. Started in 2018, Soulful Seeds focuses on providing healthy food choices to people who do not have access to those choices. They create opportunities for people to learn how to grow vegetables in their community gardens that they operate, and then they teach those people how to cook and incorporate that food into their daily diet. In 2025 alone, Soulful Seeds provided over 6,000 pounds of locally grown food at no cost to their recipients. And now let our offering begin. Please join me in blessing all of the offerings before us today. To the work of this fellowship, which is helping more people grow in love, faith, justice, and joy, we dedicate ourselves, and these are offerings. Continuing on with our works in the world, immediately after service today is our What Now gathering. This is an informal gathering offered twice monthly and it's an intentional time to consider who UUFN is called to be in these times. The week's questions are in your order of service, little book you got, page 3. There you go. The What Now gathering is held right here in this room, right after service. So grab your coffee and snacks and head back in, or join us on Zoom. And there'll be a little card up front here with note cards where you can write information that you would like to pass forward to the minister or to the Board of Trustees regarding the reflections on your questions. As Reverend Kristen mentioned, tonight is UUFNN is hosting the Trans Day of Remembrance service and vigil. The service is from 5 to 7 p.m. With a potluck dinner to follow. Say that again? Potluck is 7 to 9 after the service. And also 2 Sundays from now, December 7th, will be our next Sunday forum, held at 9 a.m. In the Stark King Room in the adjacent building. The topic for December is our favorite poem project, hosted by Philip Moore, and you are invited to share with the forum crowd a favorite poem of your own with a short description of how it's meaningful to you. And then Lily, you have.
I just wanted to let everyone know, no coincidences. Next month, which starts the 1st, so on the 7th, our Share the Plate recipient for the month will be our center. So those of you that want to learn more about it, you will be able to when the director comes and speaks on December 7th. And I'm taking this 10-second opportunity to reach out to you. I'm finding out that people don't realize they can nominate organizations. I end up getting most of them myself, but anyone in the congregation that has a favorite charity, 501c3, and you want them to be Share the Plate for a month, come to me or email me, and I'll give you the steps you have to go to. It's very simple. Okay, thank you.
And now please rise as you are willing and able and join us in singing together, and then please remain standing for our extinguishing the challenge and our benedictions. Thank you.
remain standing and connect with each other in ways that feel comfortable. May you all be truly filled with the sense of love from this gathered community. And may you commit to centering love wherever you may go in the days ahead. May it be so.